Good afternoon. We're going to kick off today. Big day back on track for the second weeks here at Daytona International Speedway with the media availability with the Daytona 500 defending champion, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Nice to hear that term, right?
It was nice. Good job.
Hey, before we talk a little bit about Daytona, we did just brief the media about the qualifying changes for the Xfinity race and for the trucks race. I know you'll be racing, obviously, in the NASCAR Xfinity Series Alert today, Florida 300 on Saturday. And obviously, as the reigning NASCAR Xfinity Series championship owner with Chase Elliott last year, any thoughts?
Yeah, really happy that NASCAR's, looking to improve, to tweak and learn, the change from single car to group qualifying works really well at all the other racetracks to try to find the right mix of excitement and professionalism and all those good things that you want to have in a show, in a qualifying segment. It's going to take a pretty unique set of circumstances and guidelines and rules for group qualifying at the plate tracks. And I'm glad that they're open to making moves, making changes, and trying to learn from those changes. The last segment of qualifying I thought was really exciting. There was only about 12 cars in that particular segment, and we didn't know if everybody was going to make it back to the line. Sitting there and trying to go at the right time and just trying, I thought it was pretty exciting, to be honest with you. And I was, I'm sitting there coming to the flag stand for the green. TJ's counting down the seconds in my ear, wondering whether the rest of the pack's going to make it across. It was touch and go there, so I enjoyed that. When we first started that qualifying session, guys driving through the grass and looked like some guys going to wreck on pit road before we ever got on the racetrack. Those kind of things are a little worrisome and don't look very well. But and I think that this is some, it's good to sort of seek how to improve on that to where it comes across better. So I'm real happy that NASCAR is making some changes and seeing if these changes work. If they don't work, if it's not the answer, it's not the answer. But it's good to be able to search and find, and we definitely want to have something exciting. And we went away from single car runs for several different reasons, and it wasn't just a choice by NASCAR itself. A lot owners had some influence, and several different factors had influence on moving away from that. And I understand that more than likely never will go back to single car runs. So if that's the case, we'll be proactive in trying to find a solution that works for everybody and that's exciting and looks professional on TV, and from the cockpit of the car it looks good. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this works.
All right, we'll open it up with Claire. We'll go here to the middle and then over to George Diaz.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. How do you look at it when you see 2-minute and 30-second runs at it? And then second, how do you look at the entertainment value? You're a internet savvy, driver, yet a youthful watcher of sports. So how do you see all that?
Well, the waiting on pit road feels kind of clunky and unnatural. So, we're all kind of waiting. Everybody wants to be last so you can get the best draft. We all understand that in the room. So, obviously, it's almost pointless to have the extra time if you're going to wait till the end anyways. So, cutting down the segments may work well, and just alleviate some of that waiting and anticipation. Guys are still going to wait till the very last minute. We're really trying to do exact math to understand exactly when we need to leave pit road to be able to cross the finish line to get the green in time to make a lap. So you want to wait till the last possible minute, and hopefully some guys like myself jump a little too early, like we did in that last segment. We went when we thought we needed to go, but it was still too quick. And you know, it's a bit of a new audience, and I'm told it's a new time and a new place and a new era, and so things got to change, and things can't always stay the same. So I definitely hope that we, the changes that we're making, improve the situation and make it better for everybody.
I saw your post on Twitter for a couple hours ago saying, on this day, I do not mourn his death. I thank God that he lived. Hashtag Dale Earnhardt. Is this a pretty emotional day for you?
No, not really. Just like it says, that was sort of pulling some ideas from a George Patton quote that I liked. And when Dad passed away, that's kind of the way that I felt about it. Like, you feel kind of selfish mourning that loss, because you're just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to go forward? Or how does this make me feel? That's real selfish. His loss affected a lot of people, not just myself. And at the same time, you're real fortunate to have known him, fortunate to have learned and had the experiences that you had with him. So you think about those and be glad that was, an opportunity you got to experience. So I know that, I just seen a lot of people tweeting and talking, and just felt like pitching in and letting people know where my mind was at. And it's instead of being sad about it, I think about all the awesome times we had and good things we did and stuff that I think he'd be proud of today.
To follow up on that, Twitter, you've been on a year now. What kind of role has that played for you, and why do you think it's so important for people like yourself to be active on social media?
Oh, well, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm too active, but, when we get to racing and we get to working, you start to follow. Like during the off season, I really didn't follow Twitter that much, and I really wasn't that active compared to where we were in the middle of the year. When you get back to work and you start following what's going on and trying to keep up with what you guys are putting out and the stories that are happening, just kind of keep your ear to the ground. You get excited and get pumped up about what's happening with yourself and your team, and you want to talk about it, and you want to share people with your excitement, whether it be with our new partners or what fans are talking about, whatever it is. You always feel like you want to weigh in and agree or disagree, and it's just a good platform to be able to do that. So I've enjoyed it, and seems like once the season gets started, we all get excited and everybody wants to chatter and carry on. So it's a good environment.
We'll go to George Diaz, Jeff Gluck, and then Jenna Fryer. George Diaz in the back.
Hey, Dale. George Diaz, Orlando Sentinel. When you came back through the infield this year, is there any kind of different feeling coming in as a defending champion, or do you just basically hit the reset button?
Well, you feel, you get asked questions about it and get reminded about, the win, which is good. It makes you feel good. But, that the odds, it doesn't improve your odds of winning. Being the champion from being the winner from last year doesn't really help you out there in the heat of the battle. We got a great car. We're going to need to do everything right. We got to get that car all the way through the week and onto the race, onto the starting grid on Sunday. We don't need to have any problems where we got to pull any other race cars out of the trailer. I've had to do that before. We sat on the pole down here, I think, one year, a couple years ago with Steve, and wrecked in practice, and it just was a difficult week after losing that primary car, because the car is so much better than the next thing we got. So you definitely we want to race hard and do everything you can, learn everything you can during the week, but you want to be able to put that car on the starting grid in one piece. And I think we got one of the best cars down here. We only practiced one day so far, but looking at the speeds of my car compared to others, I was real happy with that. So we got a long week, and guys can find speed, and we haven't drafted with the car, so don't really know exactly how it's going to draft and pull up and pass and compete in the draft. That's two different things than running by yourself. I've had some real slow cars run by themselves that draft really good, and vice versa. So you just have to hope the car has the speed in the draft once we get out there and mess around today, the next few days to come. I'm glad we won, and it feels good to come back to any race where you won. You got a little confidence as a driver, but once you get in the race and get started, it really doesn't matter.
Okay, we'll go to Jeff, Jen, and Lewis Frank. Jeff Gluck right there.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. I was reading an article on NASCAR.com, and they followed you around for your New York City stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end of the article, you stopped and bought a Powerball ticket. What would you have done with the money if you won Powerball?
Amy got mad at me. She's like, "What the hell would you want a Powerball ticket for? You don't need to be winning it." And I promised her. I promised right then I'd split half with charity. So she made me feel pretty bad for actually buying it. I don't know. Everybody else is buying them. I want to play. I want to have fun. I got a bunch of friends of mine. Some of the guys, Brad Burrows, he's done some commercials. You guys might remember Brad from the Sunoco commercial waving the flag in the city of Charlotte there, and he's done a couple other. He's been extra in a bunch of racing commercials, but he works on my property. Well, he buys one every day, and he texts. We got a group text with all the guys that work on the farm with Sonny and Brad and some friends, and we text pictures back and forth of our Powerball tickets to each other. So we have a little fun with that.
All right, we'll go to Jenna Lewis and Don Coble.
Jennifer IP. First, do you pick your own numbers, or are you a quick pick guy?
Quick pick. Give me the ticket. Let me get out. We were walking out of the elevator, and there was this little kind of a kiosk of all kinds of different stuff, and somebody was buying one when we walked by, and I said, "Hell, I'm gonna get one. I don't even know what I'm doing. Give me the ticket. I don't even know what I'm doing with it." But when the numbers came, it popped up on my phone, so that was pretty convenient. But we didn't win. I won. Actually, I won $12. I hit one of my numbers. I hit the Powerball number, so that gives you like $12 or something.
So you got to put the $12 back in and try again.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So I saw some of the nationwide stuff. I saw Peyton Manning's and Thomas Davis. Did you know they were doing that? Mm-hmm. And what did you think when you saw those start to pop up? I
was really glad to be a partner with Nationwide, to be honest with you. I didn't know they were doing that, and that always makes you feel really good because they're going out of their way to show you their support and appreciation. We've had a really easy, fun partnership before we ever started putting them on the side of race cars, and so I was, you have these, when you work with certain sponsors, you sometimes get real fortunate with the partnership, and it's an easy one, and this is one of those. So I'm really excited about how much, how genuine the relationship is, and how easy it is for me to help support them, and so that was it was good to sort of get some of that back and feel that appreciation from them. It made me feel good.
Lewis?
Lewis Frank of Reuters. Dale, is Greg Ives, does he give you inspirational notes like Stevie does, or is he too much of an engineer?
We ain't really got further enough along for me to really know the comparison between the two. So, we have communication seems to be real easy, whether we're talking face to face or through text or whatever. It's coming along really easy, and he's got a genuine interest in what I've got going on, and vice versa. And he's a really easygoing guy. But I think I know he's not Steve, and don't expect him to be like Steve exactly. And we'll get a little further along in the season and start to see the difference, I think, a little more clearly. But it's a little early to be able to tell. But he's definitely not the cheerleader that Steve is. But at the same time, we got all the guys all the whole team on a group text we've had for a while. We did that with Steve, just so everybody kind of stays in touch with each other and knows what's going on. And he's a real, we had a little trouble in qualifying, and he was a little disappointed in himself and having that happen to us. So we had a little rah-rah, text session for about 30 minutes, all the guys pitching in. We're getting everybody fired up, and he's good. He's good at that. He's very vocal and believes in the team, and he speaks his mind. And so he has a little bit of cheerleading qualities to him. So that's going to be good and positive. You got to have that. You got to rally the guys, and he knows he's part of the leadership of this team, and knows he has to be vocal and let those guys know where he's at. So I think that's important that he knows that, and it'll help us a lot.
All right, Don Coble, Jeff Olson, and the TV guy in the back. Don Coble's in the middle.
Behind. Oh.
And that'll be the last ones. Go ahead, Don.
Don Coble from the Florida Times-Union. Tomorrow, what is the bigger goal? To see if you can get the car up front or to keep your car in one piece?
Yeah, I think that you want to. I think the goal is to win the race. I have that sort of discussion going on in my head ever since we got through qualifying. Like you don't want to tear the car up, but the goal is to go out there and win the race. It just feels wrong to worry more about keeping the car in one piece than to winning the event that you're in. You're in that event to compete, to win. If we were locked in the front row, we might have a different opinion about that, but we're not. And even though the car that's in the trailer is probably not as good, I know it not to be as good, it's still competitive and can win the race on Sunday if we need to run it. And again, it just feels unnatural to worry more about that. I think you get yourself in trouble mentally when you're out there and not making the right choices to try to be competitive and move toward the front. I think if you want to do well in the race and not find yourself in trouble, you do what your instincts tell you, to try to win. If you're worried about tearing your car up, it's like the law of attraction. You end up tearing your car up somehow, trying to stay out of trouble. You find yourself in trouble most of the time.
And a quick follow-up on Greg. Does he have a little more pressure than a lot of other crew chiefs? Not just because he's working with you, but because the standards are so high at HMS. They're higher than most other places.
Yeah, I think so. It takes a unique individual to work there, and takes a certain mindset and a certain culture to be successful there. But he's well aware of that with his past history working there, which I think is, going to make this a lot easier for him. So he knows what the expectations are, and he's prepared for that. And I think he far exceeds them, as far as his ability to go in there and lead the team and do his job. He's overqualified for that. So I think he's going to do just fine.
Jeff Olson, and we'll wrap it up in the back.
Jeff Owen, Sporting News. Dale, did you have a special feeling during Speed Weeks last year as far as confidence? Did you feel like you were going to win this race? And by comparison, what do you feel? I know it's early, but kind of where are you at right now?
No, I didn't have any special feeling. I told everybody I'd join Twitter if I won the race, so I definitely felt like I had pretty tall odds. And so I didn't have any intentions of joining Twitter. But I couldn't. I had to keep my word, and I'm glad that worked out. But I don't. The odds, the race, the Daytona 500 to me is so different from any other race. And what I mean is that it itself is kind of like a season from start to finish. You go through so many highs and lows throughout the event, and for whatever reason, it feels like it's many, many times longer than any other race mentally, not in length or time, but just the things that you go through emotionally and mentally in that race just make it feel like it's such a bigger challenge than any other event. So I go in there with confidence. My car's competitive, but I know that anyone in the field can pull this off with the right moves and the right decisions and the best pit strategy. That any car in the field is almost competitive enough to win the race. So it's not like that at all the racetracks. this place really is, you know, the plates are an equalizer, and everybody, the rules and the box that the cars are in, as far as the rules are concerned with the rear springs and shocks and so forth, equalize the cars quite a bit. So just, you know, the guy that makes the right move and the crew chief that makes the right choices can get anybody to victory lane in this race. And so it makes it a real challenge. That makes me feel very fortunate to have won it twice.
Question back there.
Dale, David Pingalore, Local 6 here in Central Florida. We're going to go back to, I know you got to get out and practice, but you talked about Powerball, and there's a drawing tonight. You're not going to play, but you can see the drawing live on Local 6. So give us your Powerball number if you were going to play. Come on, Dale.
Hell, I don't even know.
Just one number.
One number. 3, I guess. 3 today. Why not?
I think that's a good way to wrap up.
Bit. Yep.
Dale, please use Twitter to let us know where that $6 in charity is going.
All right. We'll do it.
Have a good day.
Y'all have a good day, too.